and welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. Today we're going to talk about the nine lies about fat that destroyed the world's health, or definitely America's health. Now I want to start out by saying that I don't trust doctors as far as I can throw them, or as far as I can spit, because I can probably throw some of these doctors pretty far. So that being said, there are not many doctors out there that think for themselves. What they do is they get research, which they usually don't even really go through the research. They kind of skim it, and they follow what the drug companies tell them is the newest thing and the greatest thing, and it, has no side effects, and et cetera, et cetera. And they're wrong a lot. They are wrong because they just don't take the time to look into things deeper. Most of them can't because they're busy. They're doctors. They have their own practices. They're working like 12, 13, 14 hours a day. They have a family. They have shit to do, okay? So they don't really have time to sit there. Now, they should. They should do it for the better of their patients, but they don't. Now, a quick example of one of these things. My family doctor, when I was a kid, told me steroids don't work. And I gained 60 pounds in 10 weeks, and he was like, how did you do that? I'm like, I took steroids. Duh. Told you what I was going to do. But according to him, what he had been fed, steroids don't work. Well, why did they exist if they don't work? Another time when I hurt my shoulder, he was giving me samples of a thing called Ultram or Tramadol. There were samples. And they were supposed to be non-addictive painkillers. They're opiate-based. They are addictive. They are now prescription only and not handed out left and right like they were when I was first taking them. And, at the time, the doctor was like, well, it doesn't give you that goofy feeling like a Vicodin, so it's fine. It's okay for you. It's a better painkiller. It's like Advil. Well, why not just take Advil? Well, this is stronger. Well, how does it work? It's an opiate. So it's addictive. So they find this shit out later. So, again, doctors don't really know. So back in the day, they decided that fat was the culprit for the obesity problem, and fat was the culprit for all the problems that we were having health-wise. So they started recommending, and I'm going to read these things off here, recommending low-fat diets, okay? There's a graph on here that shows the obesity epidemic actually started at the exact same time that the low-fat diet guidelines came out. Because they were now saying low-fat and higher carbs. They were pushing carbs, okay? The diabetes epidemic followed soon after, okay? So many people, including my parents nowadays, are type 2 diabetics. So essentially their bodies have had some kind of transformation where they no longer tolerate carbs because they've been shoving too many carbs in them for too long of a period of time. They cut back on the fat, increased the carbs, and not only did obesity go up, but diabetes went up. There's two things you were trying to cure that you, by fucking up, made worse. The next one is cholesterol-rich foods like eggs are bad for you. Now, they know that high cholesterol in your blood, and this was another video I just did not that long ago. The cholesterol is meant to be in your blood. It's meant to be there. It's actually used to make hormones. It's like the material that hormones are made out of. So you need cholesterol. Now, should you eat 500 egg yolks a day? No. An excess of anything is bad. But the bottom line was you had people that are having maybe 2 eggs in the morning for breakfast with 2 yolks, and they were saying, holy shit, you can't have those yolks. That cholesterol, that's why your cholesterol is so high. Well, did you also tell them that you had the bowl of Fruit Loops with extra sugar on it? You had sugar in your coffee? For lunch, you had a sandwich with a soda pop? All that sugar was what was causing it, and they were blaming it on stuff like egg yolks and bacon. Your total and LDL cholesterol levels are good indicators of heart attack risk. Well, it's a good indicator that your body's doing something, and it's not using these things the way it's supposed to. So you look for those markers, but why isn't it using them the way it's supposed to? It's because your heart's bad? No. Is it because your arteries are bad? No. Bottom line is your body's not using the fat and the cholesterol the way it's supposed to because something's going on. Something's stopping it. What's stopping it? You have too many fucking carbohydrates. When those carbs are in your body, it's easier for your body to use carbohydrates than it is fat. So if your body doesn't want to do what's hard, it's not like, hey, let me do the hardest thing I could possibly do today. It's like, look, I want to survive. I want to get through. This is like your body talking. I want to get through today. I want to survive. What's the easiest thing I can do? Oh, I got some simple sugar. That's easy to burn. Boom, here we go. Oh, I got some carbohydrates. I'll burn that. What's this fat shit? Leave that over there for later. Then the next day you jam more carbs in. And the fats tend to build up. And you have all these cholesterol things that go out of whack. And you're like, oh, I need to cut out all my cholesterol. I need to cut out all my fats. Then you cut out all the fats, and what happens? Nothing changes. You got to go on medication. And then the doctor says, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Eventually it will catch up, and it will work. Just keep going and keep doing it, and stay on track. You stay on track, you wind up dead. Actually, matter of fact, there's actually a statistics that I saw that the people who live the longest go to the doctors the least. Interesting, right? Processed seed and vegetable oils are healthy. This is one of the myths. They wanted you to believe that vegetable oils and stuff were healthy. Anything processed is not healthy. Anything processed, your body cannot break down like it could from something that was taken from nature. So if you eat almonds, it's not the same thing as taking a fucking vegetable oil. Your body doesn't use it the same way. I mean, they know now. Obviously, in 2014, they know now this shit is all bullshit and, you know, it's wrong. But they went for years and years of fucking destroying people's health, thinking that they had the answer, and they just fucked it up. And why? Why? I don't understand, you know, why it was so hard to figure out if it's going in reverse and it's getting worse and all these health issues are happening. We're fucking something up bad. Let's look for it sooner rather than later, instead of let's ride it out because eventually the body will adapt and everybody will be fine and healthy. It never worked. Saturated fats raise your bad cholesterol and heart disease and cause heart disease. Now, anybody who's ever done a ketogenic diet, my girlfriend Carrie is a key example of this. She is very carb sensitive. You give her brown rice, you give her sweet potato, you give her anything carbohydrate based, and she will retain water within a day. You can see it in her face. You can see it in her feet swell. I mean, it's carbohydrate based. Her body is sensitive to the carbs for whatever reason. Now, you put her on ketogenic diet, her body functions way better, completely optimal as opposed to what was on the carbs. She goes to have her blood work done, and the doctor tells her straight out, he's like, this is the best blood work I've seen in like months, like 6 months. I haven't seen anybody with these markers this good. No high cholesterol, no triglycerides problem, no high blood pressure, no nothing. Nothing. Except for her asthma, which is congenital. She's had it her whole life. Nothing. Perfect. She's eating all kinds of fats. Turkey, beef, almonds, walnuts, all these things, olive oil, all these fats that should make her cholesterol go up, make her triglycerides go up, make her cholesterol in general go up. Nothing. So it's not the saturated fats, because the turkeys get a lot of fat and so does the beef, and it doesn't do it. Just plain and simple. Saturated fats and trans fats are similar. What the fuck? I don't know where, like, similar how? One's man-made and one's comes from nature. That makes them complete opposites right off the bat. And the body doesn't use them the same way. The body can use saturated fat and is made to use saturated fats. Trans fats? No. And a matter of fact, trans fats have been linked to many, many cancers because it does something to the body that sets those cancer cells awry and makes them go fucking nuts. Saturated fat doesn't do that. Eating fat makes you fat, and high-fat diets are dangerous. I just covered this one with Carrie just now, and that such bullshit. But like I said, this is like back in 1982 or 83 when they were doing this shit. You know, nowadays we know better. Processed margarine is better than natural butter. Jesus Christ. Can you believe that statement? Well, we're not even going to delve into this. You should know if it's processed and man-made, it's not better than butter. And I think, again, now that we know better in 2014, people are doing stuff like, you know, grass-fed cattle butter and stuff like that that's as pure as you can possibly get. You go to these other countries besides, like Italy. Italy uses butter and all kinds of shit. And those people are not only not fat, but they're not dropping dead of heart attacks either because of eating fats. So, processed low-fat foods are healthy options. I once had a client tell me, yeah, I'm eating protein. I get all my protein. I eat sliced turkey. Sliced turkey. Do you know what's in that? Turkey. No, does that look like the fucking turkey to you when they slice it? Does that look like they fucking gobble, 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 and they fucking sliced it and that's what it looks like? No, they process it with all kinds of shit. Lo and behold, when we take that turkey out and actually add in ground turkey from an actual turkey, completely different results. The body used it completely different. And all of a sudden, more muscle, less body fat. It was completely different. So your body has a hard time digesting and processing that processed bullshit sliced turkey, and you put something more natural in it, and all of a sudden it knows what to do with it. So no, it's not better. It's just, you know, these are the 9 things that I guess I don't, and you know what, I didn't pay attention to it when I was younger, so I don't know, like 1984, 85, 86, when this stuff started coming around, but Mauro Di Pasquale's diet back in 1994, I guess, or 95, was when I really started looking into the fats, which was the anabolic diet, and starting to understand how these things started to work. And then Dan Duchaine actually went with his Body Opus and his Ultimate Diet 2.0. He did some ketogenic diet stuff in there, but it was really Mauro's, you know, anabolic diet, which was kind of a update of Atkins kind of diet. He used, you know, Mauro used ketogenic diet with certain carb loading days. So he had the best of both worlds and learned how to harness those for athletic purposes. And it worked really well. The problem is you just get tired of eating those foods. So, you know, you're sitting there eating these foods that don't have any crunch to them. They have a lot of rich flavor, rich taste. Your body gets very acidic because you're eating a lot of these high protein animal high protein foods, it's tough to stay on for any long period of time. For some people, other people love it. It just depends on the person. But as far as fat destroying the health of the world, fat hasn't. Bottom line, look into it. Sugar and too much carbohydrates have. BioWesternTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. And don't get me wrong. I'm not damning carbohydrates at all. I'm just letting you know. 700 grams of carbs on a 140-pound frame, too much. www.BioWesternTraining.com is a blog and where the fat's not ruining the world bicep, and we're out.